What is up, adventure family? Today I'm going to share with you what it is like for me to hike with 3 different disabilities or disadvantages. So let's get started. First off, I'm going to cover with you, I am in no way a doctor. I don't pretend to be a doctor. So I am not telling you what you should do. That is something that you should go and discuss with your doctor, and you two come to a consensus on what is best for you. I am just telling you today what I do. Okay, so the first issue I have, and this is probably the issue that plagues me more than anything else in my day-to-day life, is a low back injury. I have a L5-S1 fusion from an injury that I sustained back in 2011. And this issue bothers me more on a daily basis than anything else. And it is the thing that was at the forefront of when I come up with this harebrained idea that I wanted to go and hike a portion of the AT. It is what plagued me the most of how am I going to be able to do this knowing that I have this back injury. So I go to my local outfitter and I get a pack and I try that pack on. It feels great. And I tried to watch a bunch of videos about how to get the right pack and how to distribute the weight, things like that. So I get a pack, and come to find out that pack did not fit correctly, and it's actually the pack that I shared with you guys in my gear breakdown. So I go back and I get a different pack, one that is carried more on my waist than on my back. And in the few hikes that I've done so far, this pack seems to be working great. It does not hurt my back, it does not hurt my shoulders. All the weight seems to be riding right on my hips, and my legs are carrying the weight, not my back. But I'm going to offer you the same advice that my doctor offered me whenever I went to him and told him what I wanted to do. The only advice that he gave me is when you're out there, if you're doing something that's hurting you, stop. So if I'm out there and I'm hiking and the pack becomes too much and I'm hurting and in pain and the medications won't take care of it, then I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to stop that activity and stop that irritation that is on my back at that time. I think that's the best advice that I could give you if you have a low back injury and it's something that, and you want to go out and hike the AT or hike any trail. If you're hiking and it's causing you discomfort or it's causing you pain, by all means stop that activity. Don't hurt yourself further to try to push through the pain because it's something that you want to do. There are plenty of other activities out there that you can go. There are lots of adventures out there that you can do that will not cause you pain. As you know, one of the other things that me and my wife like to do is RVing. RVing does not cause me any pain. It's just a lot of enjoyment. So maybe that may be something that you would like to do. But don't go out and hike and hurt yourself further just to try to push beyond what you're capable of doing or do what everybody else is doing. Remember, if you do hike with a back injury, hike your hike, not somebody else's. For me, I am not going out there to hike and keep up with anybody else. If I go out and I do 5 miles a day, that's fine. If I'm able to do 10 miles a day, that's great. 15, I'll be ecstatic. Beyond that, I'm going to hike my hike. If I'm hurting one day, I won't hike. I can stay. I'm carrying my home on my back, so I can stay exactly where I'm at. Or I can take zeros or Neros, whatever the case may be. Something else that will help me offset the pain is that I also have in my back what's called a neurostimulator. And that neurostimulator helps kind of mask the pain or hides the pain that I have. So whenever I do have those bad days, I have that neurostimulator that will help me progress to where I can get to where I need to be to take that rest. But my advice for you, if you have a low back injury, don't hurt yourself to do it. Take the steps necessary to prevent yourself from being in pain. Okay, so the second issue I have, guys, is what's called Menieres disease. Menieres disease is something that causes me to get lightheaded or foggy-headed. It kind of makes me dizzy sometimes. So if I stand up real quick, I get real woozy, kind of get nauseated, and just hard to catch my bearings. It is something that is affected by sudden movements. If I turn my head real quick, sometimes it lasts for 5 minutes, sometimes it lasts for 10 minutes, sometimes it lasts for hours. Whenever I'm riding in a car, it seems to always act up at that time, but it's something that is very manageable with medication. So my advice when you're on the AT and it's something that you're suffering with, that's probably the best day to take a picture from afar. Don't go to the edge of a cliff if you're suffering from Menieres. Don't go to the edge of the cliff to get that better picture. Probably not a great idea. So it's pretty much that simple, guys. If I'm having an issue when I'm out there with my Menieres acting up, guys, you're probably going to have to enjoy the video from afar instead of that close-up shot. The third thing that I deal with, and this is probably the most serious thing, I have what's called Idiopathic Intracranial Hypertension, or pseudotumor. That is where my brain overproduces cerebral fluid, and there is a pocket of cerebral fluid that builds up somewhere right in here. I'm not sure the actual technical name for the area where it builds up, but somewhere right in here, a pocket of fluid builds up, and it causes me, 1, to lose conscious, 2, it causes me to have stroke-like symptoms, and kind of makes me forget where I'm at, what I'm doing, who I am at my core. The last episode I have, I served 25 years in the Air Force, and it made me forget that I even served a day in the Air Force. So that's the kind of issues that I have. But what has been done to correct that is I have a brain shunt. And the brain shunt is a tube that is run into that pocket of fluid, and it drains through a shunt and down into my abdominal cavity where it is absorbed by my body harmlessly. I'll give you a picture right here of the 3 little brain surgeries that I had and what it looks like, things like that. So if you have a squeamish stomach, you may want to look away for just a second, but this is what it looks like, the shunt and the shunt surgery. So with that, I have made my wife a promise, and this is what I'm going to do to try to ease her mind. I've decided that I'm going to carry one of the InReach devices, the GPS two-way communicators. And this service, I believe, is going to be $69 a month. And I got the InReach Mini or something like that. I can't remember the exact name, but I'll actually link it right here, or I'll put it down in the description of what it is that I actually purchased. So I'll put that in the description down below. So I got that InReach, and that InReach, I'm going to have it drop a pin every 30 minutes, and I've promised my wife that every day I will send her a I'm okay at the end of the day. That way she knows that everything is going to plan and that I'm not having any issues. If something does happen, my wife will have the ability to call the authorities and say, hey, these are the issues he's having, this is where he's located, because I'm going to keep the InReach on my person, not on my pack. That way I know that I always have that with me whenever I am hiking, and that way she doesn't have to worry about me setting down my pack somewhere and running off and leaving it. So I am going to have it on my person, probably clipped to a belt loop, something like that. so that she knows that I'm okay. Once again, I'm going to put in there, I am not telling you what you should do. That is something that you, if you have a significant other, that you and your significant other sit down and you discuss, and you and your doctor sit down and discuss. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you how I'm going to handle these situations that I have. I don't want to call them disabilities, although they technically are. I just look at them as somewhat of a disadvantage. But I thought it was important to share with you guys what it's like for me and how I'm going to deal with these when I'm on the AT. So, if you are dealing with these issues, I hope this kind of helped you. I know I didn't give a whole lot of information. I just kind of told you where I'm at and how I'm going to do it. But maybe I put something in there that helps you. I don't know. If that's the case, hey, put it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. If there is something that, hey, you and I share in common, put that down in the comments below too. Tell me how you're dealing with it when you do your trail hike. I know there's probably a million different ways that you could do this, or that different people with different disabilities can do this, but I'm curious to see how you're doing it. So please put that down in the comment. I just wanted to do a quick video because me and my brother, we shared this on our last hike, and he said, you ought to put that out there and share with everybody what you're dealing with. Maybe it helps somebody and gets them off the couch and out into the woods. For me, I think it's going to be life-changing, because that's my problem, is I have been on the couch too long. I have to get off that couch and get out there and do something. I felt like my conditions were getting worse because I was so confined to my home, and it was driving me nuts. So I had to get out. So this is the path that I've taken. So that said, guys, that's it for me today. If you've enjoyed my videos, I ask that you please hit that subscribe button. That would help me out greatly. If you're enjoying the videos, please give me a big thumbs up, because that will go a long way in me reaching other subscribers. So I look forward to reading all of your comments. And remember, guys, if there's an adventure that you want to do, seek that adventure out and go live it.